Hi, Grandma Debbie here. So Mother's Day is right around the corner, and I thought it would be fun if we did a breakfast, lunch, and dinner for our moms. So we're going to start off with breakfast, and then of course we'll go to lunch, and then we'll do something for dinner. And along the way, I'm going to just talk to you about how I celebrate Mother's Day, some things that I enjoy. But the most important thing I want you to remember is that if you're unsure what to get your mom or how to celebrate your mom, just ask your mom, talk to her, see what she's interested in, because you'd be amazed at what you're going to find out. Just talk to her and find out what she likes and go from there. So, let's get going on this. Okay, so we're going to get started on making baked eggs for breakfast. So it's a real simple recipe, and we're going to get started on it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to preheat my oven to 350. And then I'm going to turn on my burner. And we're going to cook a couple pieces of bacon. Not all the way. They're going to be partially cooked. Now my husband cut our bacon in half. It just makes it easier to cook. So he did that the other day. And so I got to try and get some of this out of here. And I'm going to make a huge mess doing it. Okay. Now, this recipe is one that I got when I was in high school. I'm going to actually turn this down. And I've made it several times. It's really delicious. It's easy. So I'm just going to do 4 of these. And like I said, you're only going to partially cook them. All right, and while this is cooking, I'm going to go wash my hands since I was touching raw bacon. And I'm going to grab my apron. Okay, so let me put this in the refrigerator. Okay, I'll get my act together eventually. And I'm going to fling bacon grease all over. Okay, so while that continues to cook, we're going to let me get out the cooking oil. Sorry, you guys. So I'm going to spray this with some cooking spray. These are cooking up nicely. This is also a great breakfast that you could do like Mother's Day, Father's Day, a Sunday brunch. You can actually even do it for dinner one night. It's up to you. If you're having company over, great way to serve if you want to do a breakfast. Okay, this is just about as cooked as I need to get it. Okay, so I'm going to get a paper towel to put it on. Get some of that grease off. You want it to still be pliable. Whoops. Let me get another paper towel. I want to blot some of this grease off of there. Okay, so now we're going to take our ramekin and we're going to take the bacon and we're going to put it around the sides. We're going to burn our fingers doing it. You just want to kind of get them in a little circle there. Okay, So we got them in a little circle. I don't know if you can see. All right. So now I'm going to take and I'm going to add 2 eggs. I'm going to break the eggs inside. And you can't see, so let me readjust the camera. Okay, it does not want to cooperate with me. So I'm going to move it over here so you can see what I'm doing a little better. Okay, and my oven has preheated. I'm going to add the 2 eggs. Then I'm going to add some salt and pepper. Just a little bit. You can season it however you want, however much you want. Okay, and then I'm going to add a tablespoon of milk, or a teaspoon of milk. You can also use cream if you don't want to use milk. And I'm just using whole milk, but use whatever you happen to have. And this is what it looks like, raw. Okay, so we're going to put it in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. So you want to make sure your ramekin can go in the oven. We're going to set the timer for 15 minutes and then we'll look at it and we'll come back. Okay, so I will bring you back in 15 minutes. Okay, so I got it out of the oven and this is what it looks like. It's perfect to me. I like my yolks a little bit runny, so it is a little bit runny. I don't like the whites runny, but I do like the yolks. So I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this. You can have this with maybe some fried potatoes or hash browns or toast, or even just some fruit. It's up to you as to how you want to eat it. All right, well, I will see you in the next one. Okay, so now we're going to move on to lunch. Now, for me, what I like to do on Mother's Day is I like to spend time with my family. And so I don't always want to go out to a restaurant. Sometimes we do, sometimes we'll go. But I prefer to go to and have a picnic or just make some sandwiches and hang out at the house. Something simple so that we can all just enjoy each other's company. That's what I like. However, my kids are older. And so, when they were younger, I enjoyed going out because I didn't have to cook. And I will tell you a funny story about cooking. For many years, my husband would always tell me he was making my favorite meal. And I'd get pretty excited, like, okay, does he know what my favorite meal is? He did not. He would make teriyaki chicken wings. I'm not a fan of teriyaki chicken wings. I'll eat it, but it's not my favorite. And so every year, for many years, he would make this. And then he'd tell me, I'm going to clean the kitchen. Guess what I would wake up to in the morning? A mess in the kitchen. Have you ever seen a casserole dish that's had teriyaki chicken wings that have roasted until he likes them crispy, has roasted forever? It takes a lot of elbow grease to get that casserole dish clean. So I finally, after years of having that, I convinced him that it wasn't my favorite meal, it was his, and that we needed to do something different. And so he did. My favorite meal is scampi, so he did start making me scampi. But that's okay, though. It's just funny memories. But the thing I like to do on Mother's Day is I like to watch Yours, Mine, and Ours with Lucille Ball and Henry Fonda. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites, and so I try to watch that every year. I also, like I said, I like to spend time with my family, my kids. I don't expect gifts. I just don't. I prefer to spend time with them as opposed to getting anything. So usually if my husband buys me something, he'll buy me like rose bushes because I love rose bushes and I love to be able to plant them and see them year round. So he'll do something like that. Last year, my kids and grandkids got me some hanging flower pots with flowers in them. I still have them, and they hang out where I can sit in my living room and look out and see them and enjoy them. And that was a year ago, and I just love. So it's things like that that I love. But you know, a quick and easy thing that you can do is you can take your mom on a picnic or hiking if that's what she likes to do, something like that. But a picnic is, she doesn't have to clean up. She doesn't really have to make food because you can swing in and pick up a sandwich someplace, or you can make sandwiches at home and take them with you. You can do peanut butter and jelly, or I'm going to do ham and cheese. It's up to you as to what you want to do. And then you just grab a few other ingredients. So let's get going on the sandwiches and we'll see where it takes us. Okay, first off, you'll notice that I have several different things sitting out there. I have water, because I don't go anywhere without water. So I have a couple bottles of water ready to go. We have dessert. My husband made brownies the other night, so we have dessert. Have some bags of chips. I prefer the individual bags of chips, and the reason why I prefer the individual bags is because everybody likes something different, and so I prefer to have a variety, and so we get the individual size. I have some strawberries that are already cut up and ready to go. I have some apples that probably need to be cut up, but I haven't done that. And then I'm going to make, like I said, a ham and cheese sandwich. So I have some lettuce to put on top of my sandwich. And I have mayonnaise and mustard to go with it. So we're going to get started on making it. So I've got out the bread. And like I said, this is just a simple thing. You can do this. The kids can do this. If you don't like sandwiches, then take what you like. Maybe you want to grill when you go to the park or go on a picnic. Maybe you'd rather grill up some hamburgers or hot dogs or chicken. I will tell you, though, that if you ever do a cost analysis on chicken versus hamburgers and hot dogs, you will notice that it's cheaper to do chicken than it is to do hamburgers and hot dogs, because you don't have to have buns and ketchup and mustard and all that other stuff for chicken. But, you know, some people prefer to do hamburgers and hot dogs, especially if you have little ones, because they usually prefer hamburgers or hot dogs. Whoops, and I just dumped mustard all over my workstation. So let me get something to clean that. Or make it worse, whichever. Okay, so I've got, let me scoot this over so you can see. So I've got my mustard and my mayonnaise, and now I'm going to add cheese. You can add on whichever side you want. I prefer it on the mustard side. I know that's probably weird, but that's the side I prefer it on. And then I'm just using regular lunch meat, deli meat. So you could do the same. It's up to you, whatever you want. However you want to do it. Once again, you know, what does your mom like? So that's what you want to make for sure, is that you just give your mom whatever it is that she likes. And my lunch meat is just shredding. Okay, so I've got my lunch meat, and now I'm going to add a piece of lettuce, because who doesn't like lettuce on their sandwich? I don't have any tomatoes, and I don't always add tomato on my sandwiches because sometimes, especially if you're going to travel with them, they get yucky. So I'm just going to add some lettuce. Okay, now I'm going to put my top on, and then I'll bag it up, and I'm ready for a picnic. All right, so I'm going to bring you back now later on in a few hours for dinner. Okay, so now it's time for dinner, and we're going to make chicken Kiev with mashed potatoes and a vegetable. The mashed potatoes, I'm actually going to use the frozen potatoes that I made, that I froze a while back, and I videotaped it. So I'll link that in the description for you. But we're going to use those. So that's one step that we don't have to do tonight. But we're going to get going. This is a very simple recipe. Anybody could do it. Like I said, it's extremely simple. So we're going to get started on it and have some fun. Let's go. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do, first off, I'm preheating my oven to 350. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter right here. And so I've got some dill, some fresh dill, and some fresh chives, and we're just going to cut them up. And add them to our butter. And I'm going to make a huge mess with it. Okay, let's chop up some chives. All right, let's mix this together. Now, I'm cutting this recipe in half, but you can definitely cut it in half. You can increase it, you can, or double it, you can triple it, whatever you need to do for your family. There's just 2 of us, so I'm cutting it in half. Okay, looks like we're good. Okay, so now I'm going to take out my chicken breasts, and I've got 2 here. And with a little paring knife, all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little pocket in this. And then we're going to take the butter mixture and we're going to add half of it in each breast. And I'm just going to end up using my fingers because it's spilling out all over the place. I want to make sure I get it all. Okay, now I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Okay, then now we're going to take mayonnaise. Well, first off, I'm going to add pepper and salt to the panko breadcrumbs. And this you're just going to add it to taste. So whatever you think you need. Kind of want to just mix it up a little bit. Okay. All right, so we're good to go. All right, so we're going to cover the chicken, and I'm going to probably just use my hands as opposed to using the pastry brush. It's going to be easier. And you're going to cover the whole entire chicken with mayonnaise. And I'm pretty sure that if you ask the kids to come and help you at this point, they would probably say yes, because who doesn't want to stick their hands in mayonnaise? You want to make for sure that all sides are covered. And then it's covered all over the place. And it's well covered. Okay, then I'm going to wash my hands again because this is gross. Okay, then we're just going to stick each one of the chicken breasts in the panko, and we're going to get it all over the place. And so, yeah, I'm going to be washing my hands once again. And we just want to get the panko covered all over. And if you need to add more panko, go right ahead. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to wash my hands again, and then we're going to move to the other side of the kitchen. Okay. So I came over here, and now I'm going to add some oil. I'm using a cast iron skillet because it's going to be going into the oven. And so I'm going to add some oil. And what we're going to do is we're going to brown it on both sides for about 3 to 5 minutes until they're crispy and brown. And while we're waiting for this to get hot, I'm going to put this stuff away over here. Okay, I think the oil is nice and hot, so we're going to go ahead and add the chicken breasts. And we're just going to start letting them cook. So I will bring you back in a few minutes. Okay, so I've got water going for the potatoes. Let's see if we can turn these. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. Now remember, you're not trying to cook it all the way because it's going to go into the oven. All you're trying to do is brown it. On both sides. And it's looking really good because we're going to finish cooking it in the oven. All right, so I'll bring you back when it's time. Okay, so it's nice and browned. I've turned it off. My oven's preheated. So I'm now just going to move this to the oven. And it's going to cook for about 20 minutes. And the water is still going, so I'll bring you back when things really get moving again. Okay, so the water is boiling now for the potatoes. So I'm going to salt it up. And then I'm going to put in my potatoes. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of the potatoes because there's just the two of us, and I think this might be too many. So I might just do half the bag. Ooh. Now, normally I would have started with cold water on this, and I probably should have, but I wasn't thinking, so I'm going with hot water. I'm trying to determine, let me see, I get a fork, and it definitely cooled it off right away. I think that will be plenty of potatoes to make mashed potatoes. Let me add a few more. What's the harm? So we have leftover potatoes. Worse things have happened. All right, so now the potatoes are going to start cooking until they are done. And then we'll mash them. And my chicken's doing great. My kitchen smells wonderful. I can't wait to eat it. Okay, so I'm going to get out the chicken. It just beeped that it was done. And we're going to see if it really is done. So let's check temperature. I'm actually going to put it back into the oven because it's not quite done. So I'm going to put it back in there for probably another 5 minutes. Doesn't it look good? And the potatoes are boiling nicely. In fact, I think they're done. They're fork tender, that's for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and drain them. And then we're going to mash them. All right, and I've got corn ready to go into the microwave. And then we'll be ready for dinner. Okay, so I got the chicken out again. And let's see if it's done. All right, the chicken is done. Okay, so I'll bring you over and show you everything. Okay, so as you can tell, the chicken is done. I'm going to leave it sitting in the pan until we're ready to eat. Corn is done and it's ready to be served. I just microwaved it, it's just frozen corn. And our mashed potatoes are finished. So we're all good and ready to go for dinner. So I hope that you are having an amazing day. And I hope that you give this recipe a try. It's pretty simple. So I just want to thank you for coming along with me on this journey. And I hope that I've given you some ideas for Mother's Day. And, maybe you can share some ideas back with me as to what you think would be a great Mother's Day activity or meal or whatever. That's how I like to learn and get better ideas from you. So once again, thank you for coming along with me on this journey. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the share button, and I will see you soon. Thanks. Bye.